that'll be great. Well, I'm going to run short, trust me. Good morning, all. There we go. Some exciting news yesterday that I'd like to talk about. I got word yesterday afternoon that the Association of Energy Engineers, which is a nationally recognized organization, has gone through the effort of talking about the #1 project, the #1 energy project in the United States, and it's the project I'm the efficiency manager for in Albany, Georgia. That's national recognition. We thought, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Well, the reason that project is being nationally recognized is one of the things that I consistently talk about over and over again is an economics plan. And this economics plan that they're using is pretty much the model of what I'm talking about. The project they put together is at no cost to the taxpayer. It's private investment. It's small business solutions for government problems. It also creates a revenue stream for the local county. And in doing so, provides close to $5 million a year for the local county because they're selling methane gas out of a landfill. The other thing that's really cool about it is they've also prevented steam. And they put this steam together like the exhaust of your car. So this generator's burning at 1,000 degrees. They hooked up boilers to the exhaust of that generator, and it generates free steam. Well, the biggest user of steam in South Georgia has got to be the production individuals that do peanuts, cotton, and Procter & Gamble's down there as well. And they're expanding because their cost of doing business just got cheaper. Now the best part of this program, the best part of the economics program that I put forth and set out online is every solution that I've presented as part of the economics program is small business solutions for government, not government solutions for small business. Now the other great thing that's coming out is the education program, the Vision Bridge School program that I've talked about over and over. Trying to push it, trying to get it out there. We have one more hit on the Vision Bridge School program. The pilot program in the state of Indiana, they've given it the go-ahead, and it looks like it's going to go, but they're not calling it Vision Bridge School. They're calling it something else, but it's the same program. Now Indiana's on board with the same program, and they're hoping to reduce their dropout rates. So that's seriously huge. And I'm going to follow up a little bit with Prince George School District, one of the school districts I got to evaluate in Washington, D.C., because I had a question speaking at the Bartow Tea Party last week about the Vision Bridge School bill and how it works with school vouchers and so forth. The school voucher program is enhanced by the Vision Bridge School bill. You can imagine this just for a moment. If you have students and everybody's paying taxes, and everybody's paying school taxes, and of course to a certain age now because the law's changed. But if you have a homeschool student, or if you're a private student, or if you're in an IEP program or an SST program in your public school system, and you need additional assistance, you have to rely on the school system for that. The key thing about Vision Bridge School is it brings in Huntington, Ombudsman, and Sylvan. And you guys have heard of these guys. They're small business tutors. They are small businesses in your community. And they agree to take the daily rate from the state to tutor these kids in a smaller classroom environment. Now, this works for homeschoolers. This works for people that are in private school. Let's say for the sake of discussion that you're homeschooling and you're not really good at Physics 23, and I'm making this up, of course. And you want your kid to go get Physics 23 so they can get a better opportunity in college. Well, the Vision Bridge School will put out a schedule and say, hey, look, we have Physics 23 this next week and 2 weeks from now. And you could sign your kid up and take them in there and go to that school for free since you've already paid the taxes for it. And you're already there for it. Now, the public schools get to use it as well. They would bring in Huntington, Sylvan, Ombudsman into the school, into a specific classroom, and they would let the SST students and the IET students know which classroom to go to, and that would lessen the classroom size for the public school teachers, but also it would hire some teachers back on the private side to support that effort in the public school system. So it benefits both sides. Now finally, the energy program, and this is huge. Everybody's heard of Siemens. You know, you hear about Siemens in the medical group, and you hear about Siemens out there doing things. Well, Siemens Energy Group made an announcement yesterday that was kind of huge. They're looking for someplace in Georgia to drop about $40 million. And they're looking for some place to drop $40 million. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. That's exact, because they're looking for new energy programs. And what they're looking to do is to do a solar program, a single axis solar program for megawatts. And I do mean megawatts of power. They're going to do the entire investment from a private industry group at no cost to the taxpayer. They're looking for some place to stick it where they can make money as long as they have a power purchase agreement. And if they get the power purchase agreement, so whichever county comes forward first with a power purchase agreement may get that business. Whichever district comes forward with it may get that business. So now the competition that I spoke about for energy, to where it's going to reduce the cost of doing business, in helping not only our small businesses, but attracting the Caterpillar vendors that are going to be coming to Georgia soon, looks like it's going to be coming to an end, because the competition is going to get fierce. And I just got my notes. Thank you. Okay, now I'm supposed to do question and answer for how
Right.
How many minutes? 10 minutes. Fire away. And you're all eating. See, this is perfect timing. This is like a waitress that comes to you and everybody's got their mouths full. Oh, I'm going to get away with murder here? Oh, please.
Why are you opposed to the T-Splosh?
Well, you know,
When the chambers all say that this is the best way to show that we're a progressive region and it brings jobs into this community.
The engineers that put forward some of the projects in T-Splosh, and if you get the opportunity to review that, I call it the Obama Bill of Georgia, because they put in projects in there for like, oh, we want to do sidewalks in low-income housing areas, rip out the old ones and put in new ones. That doesn't help my transportation. They want to put in concrete trash cans in parks because the other ones are getting stolen because they didn't chain them down. That doesn't help my transportation. All these projects that were put together by county engineers and put forward had a cursory review, a very small review. And they sent them forward. Some of them are huge, some of them are appropriate, but a lot of them are filler projects like a wish list. Ma'am?
Can I interrupt?
Allow me.
Okay, you
Thank
finish
you.
it.
When I work with other states, I found it interesting that the gas tax in other states goes directly to the Department of Transportation. And they use that revenue stream in the Department of Transportation to do their planning, their budgeting, and they maintain roads like that. We have a gas tax in the state of Georgia. But now we want to put a splost on top of that because the gas tax goes to the General Assembly, not to the Department of Transportation. So I think the solution is elsewhere. It's not a T-splost tax. I think we should take the gas tax and give it back to the Department of Transportation so they can plan, so they have a steady stream of revenue, where they know this revenue is going to go and they can plan roads, and they can plan concrete gas or trash cans in parks and redo sidewalks, because they'll have a consistent revenue stream based on the gas tax they're selling. Now the best part about that is whoever uses the roads buys gas. So it doesn't necessarily tax everybody. It only taxes the individuals that use the roads. So I would call that a little bit more fair than a T-splosh. Please, by all means.
I disagree.
Okay, thank you.
The regions all sat down as a regional group and picked out the road projects. And then the counties were able to pick out what their most desires were. Dalton's against it. Dalton owns the utility company, so why would they vote for it?
Exactly.
But if we say no to this, Floyd County and Chattooga are once again little islands away from 75. So you're voting against, you're saying you're voting against that, and you're voting against our area once again being held captive by two old rich men in Cartersville.
I think that my travels throughout the state of Georgia gives me a wider field of vision than just District and Senate 52.
But we're just voting for this region.
I understand. The other districts that I sat with, and I'm sitting in Albany, they're voting against it in Albany just for the fact that regardless if it's 10% or 30%, they don't have the money to match it anyway. The legislature only gave them one answer. They didn't give them more than one option. They gave, this is my way or the highway. You have no other options, taxpayer. You're either going to pay 10% or 30%. 10% or 30%. If you don't have the 10% or the 30%, it doesn't matter. And if they don't have the money now, what do they think they're going to come up with it later? The easiest solution will be using a natural tax that's already there.
We already have it.
We already have it.
It's the lowest in the nation.
And it's got to go directly to the Department of Transportation and not the general fund.
It does.
Okay.
Is there any other questions?
Yeah, we need another question. I know we got plenty out there somewhere.
Oh, sir.
What areas of government do you see would be good for privatizing?
Oh, Lord help me. Besides education, and I'm all over that one.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of faith in the privatization of a lot of the DHR organizations. We have a unique program in the state of Georgia that every county has a director of $100,000 and a deputy director of $80,000 sitting in a DHR office in each county. Now, we have rural counties where those offices are very rarely used. Now, it's $9.8 million worth of administrative costs according to their own website. So why can't we combine offices and have a director in one county for these rural areas and a deputy director in another county just to cut that back? Now, the privatization part of that, boy, I don't know how to tell you this, but this goes back into the education and training of our social workers. We get a lot of young social workers that come out of college that want to save the world. God help them all. We've dealt with a lot of them. Last night we got word we're probably going to get a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old little girl in the next 72 hours, so we know what's coming our way. But these individuals try to save the world, and they get out of college and they burn out in 18 months. And the reason they burn out in 18 months is because it's a hard job. It's a real tough job. But there are private groups out there. There's one in this county, there's one in Bartow County. These private groups do the social work, like the church groups do together. They do their social work. The Methodist organization is huge about it. The Lutheran group is huge about it. Even our Murphy Harps right out here is run by the Methodist organization. I see a lot of the children care, not the foster care necessarily, but the special needs children. I see a lot of that be done privately. Could be done a lot better than the state is doing it, and with lower cost administratively. Secondly, I think that any time that we use central offices, now understand we had this great big boom where we needed a large government. We had to have so many central offices, so many offices everywhere. All that's changing now. Computers have changed how we do business in government. Do I really need 9 district administrative offices in the state of Georgia when I have a computer?
No.
Some of those things I would love to cut. Right. Those are the 2 biggies. But of course, you know, I always try to provide small business answers to government problems. Government always likes to have government answers to government problems and government solutions to government problems because that employs more bureaucrats, and I'm a firm believer that bureaucracy is the 4th level of government. It's just a killer. And I work as a contractor for the DOT. I know it. I see it almost every day. Please, sir.
If, big if now, for any reason you're not elected, what would you do to promote these things that you're talking about?
I go to the highest bidder. I'm a contractor, and I leave no money on the table. The money I'm making in Albany right now, using these projects and attracting Siemens, if they go there, I make money. I'd rather do it here because I got a vested interest here with my kids. But my talents are, you know, for sale for the highest bidder when it comes to contracting, because I'm in it to make money just like any business owner. That's why I'm providing small business solutions for government issues. Again, I hope to make the runoff, and I hope to be your next senator, but along those lines, understand that the options that I bring and the energy that I bring, if that's not what's wanted in this district, if that's what they don't believe is what's needed in this district, and somebody else wants to pay me more for my efforts, I will certainly take that money. I have a family to raise. I have more kids coming to my home all the time, and they get hungry. And we're ready. I'm going to do closing comments real quick because, guys, believe it or not, I am running like a rocket today. I have a speaking engagement in Bartow County right after this, and then I got to go to county. A radio show, and then shortly after that I'm doing another engagement, and then we're done for the night. Examples are important. Every debate, every posting, everything you'll read on my website has been positive. You'll find that setting an example is something that we've tried to do throughout our whole life, because we believe that if you set a light, and that light is bright, and it's bright enough for everybody to see, and that example is bright enough for everybody to see, that maybe others will follow it. Every example we've set in regards to business, our home, anything that we've done with the church, our Boy Scouts, my military service, has been consistent. Everything you've seen of Hayden on the stage is Hayden. Everything you've seen of Hayden here is Hayden. There's no consultant. Well, Sandra. And I'm in charge when she's not around. Notice she's not here. So, but the options are there. Now, my values have been on display for everybody to see for a long time. If you like those values, and you like the example that's been set, let's bring it together and unite the districts and make it happen. I hope to have your vote on the 31st. I appreciate your consideration. Thank you.